Hey, I'm Rob Freeman, Realtor with Stonehaus Realty, and we're here at Boca Coffee House in Nanaimo, the old city quarter, one of my favorite coffee places, as you can see here from the video I just shot. Make sure you check that one out too. But today, I'm going to give you my forecast for what is 2026 going to mean for Nanaimo and Vancouver Island real estate. Hint, good news for both buyers and sellers, but stick around and you'll see my full prediction. Let's dive in. The good news heading into 2026 is that things are pretty good here on the island. We have a very desirable microclimate here. The island is always in demand for people looking to retire. We've got tons of natural beauty, and to some extent, we're not hampered by what's going on in the rest of the country. There is a little correlation with what happens in Vancouver because that does affect our market, but overall, we're in a pretty good place here. I'm predicting that 2026 is going to be, we'll call it a calm but busier market. It's still going to be balanced in real estate terms. That means probably we'll still see the 4 to 6 months of inventory that we've experienced at the end of 2025 here. We're still going to see more inventory coming, which is great for buyers, but not enough to push it out of being a seller's market. What that means on the selling side, if you want your home to sell quickly, it still has to show well, and most importantly, be positioned well right out of the gate. I also did this video about just that fact, the importance of properly positioning your home. So if you're thinking about selling, check that one out too. So just to recap where 2025 left us, as of November, we had 513 sales of all property types in Nanaimo. That's down about 8% year over year since November 2024. Active listings, we had just over 3,400, which is actually up about 5% year over year. When I took a statistics course at university, I always remember being told there's lies, damned lies, and statistics. Don't put too much faith in the numbers, you can always skew them, but overall, we're down in that front a little bit. That being said, VIREB, the Vancouver Island Real Estate Board, says that that is the balanced market I alluded to, 4 to 6 months worth of inventory. It's neither a buyer's market nor a seller's market. We're in a balanced market. In 2025, the benchmark home average sale price for any single family home in Nanaimo was anywhere from $800,000 to $850,000, depending on what point in the year you looked at it. That trend will probably continue into 2026. I expect to see prices go up a little bit, maybe 5 to 6%. It's not going to be a through the roof 2021 takeoff, but it's not going to be a crash either. Most of the expert sites I've checked out on this also expect about a 10% increase, call it, in number of transactions in 2026. So there'll be more home sales happening. Now, that's great if you're being a seller. On the buyer's side, it doesn't hurt you either because you still have the power to put forth good offers. You can have inspections. You might even be subject to sale. Those conditions are fine given the balanced market we're in. In terms of pricing in Nanaimo, I'd expect things again to be fairly constant in 2026, the first half of the year especially, and then maybe an uptick later in the year, depending on the Bank of Canada, how rate prices go, if there's rate drops, etc. I would say probably a 2 to 3% price increase over the first half of the year is what I'm expecting based on, again, what I've been reading in the news. Some homes I expect to sell well in the first half are the same things that have been in demand in 2025. Ranchers, always in demand, especially as our population gets a little bit older. Homes with suites under $1 million, always in demand. And homes in the north end in certain areas, and some townhomes south end that could have some good investment value. Those are the areas that have been fairly steady, and I'd expect that to continue into 2026. If you're on the selling side and you have a home that's in that 1 to 1.5 range, you may notice that homes there have been sitting longer than usual. So again, your home has to show really well, especially if you're up against competition that shows better, or perhaps you're overpriced and need to consider a price drop or repositioning of your price. As I said, I expect sales on Vancouver Island in Nanaimo to be up 5 to 10% overall in 2026. This will be as a result of people who kind of put things on the back burner for 2025. Now that the rates are fairly constant, I expect more people to actually make a move instead of just sitting on the fence and waiting. We haven't had a rate drop recently. We'll see what the Bank of Canada is going to do, but I don't think it will affect overall pricing that much for homes. So I expect to see more people actually making the jump into the market. For sellers, I also expect more homes to hit the market in 2026 as sellers are making that move as well. That being said, I also expect more home sales. So the buyers are going to take up some of the sellers' inventory. I'm anticipating that homes will take a little longer than average to sell in 2026. Again, the importance of having your home be absolutely show ready when we're listing it. I also expect that homes that do meet that show well and priced well criteria will face multiple offers again. I think there'll be high demand for those homes, so even though it's a balanced market, sellers could expect to get top dollar if their listing is done properly. As I mentioned, if you're on the buy side, you still do have a little bit more freedom than you did back in the pandemic years of 2021, 2022. You have time to put proper offers in. You can have an inspection. You could be subject to sale. You have time to negotiate a little bit more. You don't necessarily have to rush out, jump on the first house you see. That being said, I also wouldn't wait too long because the homes that do show well, they're going to attract a lot of attention right out of the gate. Overall, in 2026, I'd say it's more a case of buy the house that's right for you, not just the right price. If you're waiting for the rate to drop, again, you might be priced out of the market and you'll have to settle for something that had you bought sooner, you could have actually afforded. If the rates go up, you might find your purchasing power not go quite as far as before. If you found this video to be helpful, please book a call below using my Calendly link. We can talk about whether you want to buy or sell or buy and sell. Happy to help you on one or both or all of those things. I used to be a copywriter in a previous life, so I have a humbly biased, very well written buyer's guide and seller's guide that I'd be happy to share with you. Just comment buyer's guide or seller's guide below and I'll email you the PDF. I've been Rob Freeman with Stonehaus Realty. Have a great 2026. Look forward to help making all your home buying and selling dreams come true. Thanks again for watching and we'll see you at the next one. Make sure you like and subscribe below. My goal for the new year is to keep putting out great content just like this. I hope it helps. Happy New Year.